Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Kyle's Thoughts. I am your host, Kyle. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, depending on when you're watching this. Regardless. Hello. Oh boy. As you can see, I'm in my back patio of my backyard today. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about the duality of suicide. Yeah, so that's already a crazy thing to start off a podcast with is, wow, the duality of suicide. Not many people would think, oh, there's duality to suicide, but there is. So it was it was inspired by many conversations that I've had with many different people. But the reason I'm talking about it today is because, I kind of have a personal connection with it because, I've had to deal with both sides thinking wise of like the duality of it. So that being the reason why I'm like even speaking on it. Just dealing with both sides of the thought process. The first view, right? So I 100% absolutely do understand why we are so against suicide, which we should be. Like I'm not saying that like, oh, if somebody wants to kill themselves, just let them. No, I'm not saying any of that. I would never say anything like that. But I am saying I do understand why we hate, that the thing. Just because it's such a tragic thing, and there's many reasons as to why one could do that. Bullying was a big one, which we've kind of cut down on bullying, so that's not as big of a issue anymore for many. But even then, life struggles. You have life struggles. You have, abusive partners. Like it doesn't always have to be like young children and bullying. Like, it can be adults too, because everyone in this life goes through things, many things, horrible things, great things, all of the things. Life is hard for everyone. Even when it's easy, it's still hard. We're all human. Maybe this is just my weird thought process, but when I was younger, I was suicidal. Um, lots of things. Um, I had came out to my family, so just dealing and navigating with that. Um, God, I never had any privacy. My mom like always went through all of my things. Like, God, it was horrible. And then, I was dealing with issues with, of course, navigating friendships and like trying to have relationships and things of that nature. It's kind of took a toll on my mental. If there's any adults watching, you might be like, oh, like that's stupid. But no, like whenever you're a kid, you process things a lot different. And so, things that maybe in your adult life wouldn't affect you that bad, like it affects you in a way as a kid. Um, so yeah, it just hit me really hard, just all of the things. And I was like very, very suicidal. I remember it was my fifth attempt. And I got caught. I did get caught. So it was kind of like a family talk type of thing. I remember them being so angry, which, I mean, any person dealing with someone who has tried to commit suicide or wants to commit suicide, I mean, rightfully so to be angry, because that's not the answer, and like that's not something that you want for them. I just remember thinking they kept giving all these reasons as to why I shouldn't kill myself, but it was, oh, you shouldn't kill yourself because think of all the people that you'd be hurting. Think of how you'd make me feel. Think of how you'd make that person, this person feel. Like, da 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 da. Think about the people. Think about us. Think about your family. Think about your friends. But it was never a thing of, well, you shouldn't kill yourself because reasons to like of you, it wasn't like oh, you shouldn't kill yourself because you're special, or you belong here, or you deserve to be alive, or you are worthy, or nothing like that. Like, it wasn't things of you shouldn't kill yourself because you deserve to be alive and you are worthy to be here as a human. It was structured as you shouldn't kill yourself because that would hurt us. And I've been thinking about that since that incident, like and I mean, as a sixth grader, I don't really think I should have been able to even process things like that, or like even understand the concept of that, to the full extent that I did. But I did. But I had always thought about that. I was like, wow, this really how it is? And I started to understand. I was like, I see why people just kill themselves anyways. Not to say that it's justified or anything, but it's because instead of, I mean, because they're already going through so much. And then, 9 times out of 10, I can at least say for myself, like, you're already going through everything, and then you're blaming yourself for what you're going through, because maybe there are some actions that you took that led to certain situations. And there are certain situations that aren't your fault, but in your mind, you're still going to blame yourself. So you're caught up in blaming yourself for all this bad that is happening to you. And then you're now hearing, well, you trying to take the easy way out is still a fault of yours, and that's still making you bad. And now you're a bad person because you don't want to deal with your pain and suffering anymore. So, I mean, how I understood it was me not wanting to suffer and be in pain anymore is just inconvenient for you, and that's why you don't want me to take that way out. Not because you care about me as a person, and because you genuinely think that I should be here, like, in general. It's just, you should be here so that I can emotionally and mentally be okay. And that's just one of the things that I did not like. And like, I've always thought about that. I was like, wow, this is probably what suicide attempt, like, I guess you could call them victims. Yeah, I would call them victims. Yeah, I'd call them victims, really. Um, but this is what, like, suicide attempt victims probably hear all the time. Like, oh, don't kill yourself because think of all the people that you'd hurt. And they're not getting the reassurance that they need of, oh, you shouldn't kill yourself because you matter and you deserve to be alive. And like, all the things that you should hear. And I understand that it is hard to say the right thing, but I just don't think that all that should be said is, well, think about how you'd be hurting me. Think of how you'd be hurting your family and your friends. Like, I don't think that we should make somebody's suicide issue or suicidal thoughts and things like issues. I don't think we should make it about the people around them, because I feel like that does more harm than it does good. And even if it does get them to stray away from even wanting to kill themselves, it wasn't because you loved them into straying away from it. It's because you shamed them away from it, which I guess one could say whatever you need to do to make it work, it makes it work. And so by any means do it. But I just feel like there are better ways um, to do so.
All right, guys, this is the little break zone just to debrief. Go get snacks, go get drinks, go get whatever you need, meditate on this a little bit, whatever you need to do. And I'll see you when you get back. This next part does get a slight bit heavier just because I'm talking about my personal experiences. So if you don't think that you can handle, click off the video or just come back when you're ready.
The second view, which is the flip view of, like, suicide. Wait, actually, I want to finish my point. I feel like it is selfish to, this is just my view, and I'm not saying it's the right view, because I know it is the wrong view at the end of the day. Um, but I just feel like it is selfish, and maybe even if it is coming from a good place in your heart, it's still not delivered in the best way. I still think it is very selfish to say that, well, yes, you are suffering and your life is agonizing, but yeah, you killing yourself is an inconvenience to me, therefore you shouldn't do it because it would hurt me. And not even trying to consider, oh, what is this person feeling? What is this person going through? How bad is it to to where they want to just off themselves, you know? Like, I just don't think that we think about that enough. We just think about, oh, well, if you killed yourself, it would hurt me versus how is this person feeling? Why do they want to kill themselves? What are they going through? How bad is it? Even like it could be something that's maybe not that bad, but that's just how their brain works that it makes it that bad, you know? Because not everybody's mind is the same, not everybody's heart is the same, not everybody processes everything the same way, you know? Some people take things harder and some people take them as, lighter. Um, but on to my second point. My second point being that, yeah, it is really selfish to want to kill yourself, to attempt to, and to just overall do so. Um, it is very selfish because you are saying, I don't care about how you guys feel and how you guys will feel and the emotional consequences that I'm springing upon you because my life is so bad. And so I am going to prioritize all of the pain and agony that I am feeling over all of the good things in my life and all of the good people in my life. But you know, I think it's just a thing, especially with me dealing with it. It's more of a thing, at least I can say for me, I can only speak for myself, where it was, I am suffering, I am miserable, everyone sees it, and now I feel like a pity case. I feel like a pity case. I feel like my energy, when I come around, I'm bringing everyone's energy down. I am disrupting everything, just, ruining things for people because of what I am going through. And so it was more operating from the thought process of, I'm bad for myself. I'm bad for other people. Nothing but bad is happening to me. I'm causing bad things for other people because of what I'm going through. I'm throwing other people off and I'm disrupting other people's peace and everything else because of what I am going through. And I just don't want to be a burden to anyone anymore. So why not just say, hey, deuces and get out of here, you know? Um, so that was, that was rough to get out of actually. Um, I'm not in that as heavily anymore. I kind of still am the type of guy like, bro, whatever. If I die, I die. If I live, I live. No one cares. You know? I know that people do care. Obviously, people do care. Um, and I'm never gonna negate that. Um, but it's kind of a thing where it's like I've survived the bad part of it, and now I'm just living the after. But I think people have this misconception that because you got through it, it's just supposed to not affect you anymore, or because you have better in life now, the things that did affect you just aren't supposed to affect you anymore, and you're just supposed to be over it and not feel that the aftermath, But I would say this: people people are like a community, like a tragedy happens in a small town or like a big town or big city, and yeah, after a while, the city, like they recover, but the people aren't the same. The people still remember, the people are still affected by it. And sometimes, just depending on the area, the city or that town is just never the same, and neither are the people in it because they are still affected by the event because it didn't just oh, they happened and they were like, it happened and they were bystanders. Like, no, they went through it. Therefore, it does have lingering effects. Which obviously therapy does help. Therapy is important. Therapy obviously does help and it can help. And therapy is good. I believe in therapy. And I know it's a thing of, oh, therapy is expensive and things like that. But if you have it and you can afford it, do it. If you can't, talk to a good friend. That helps too. It doesn't always have to be therapy, 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 therapy. It can just be a good friend, even a stranger, just willing to listen and give good advice. Maybe that's all you need. I think that, especially in the age of social media, um, I think we should just be nicer to people. I think we should be more nice to people. I think we should be more willing to hear people out on their struggles, because you just never know. That unwillingness to hear someone out could be their last attempt for a cry at help. Somebody's refusal to hear another person out could be their breaking point. And then, so I think we should popularize the idea of hearing people out, being there for people, and just, I don't want to give a world peace speech. World peace will never happen. But I would just encourage the people to just be nicer to each other and hear each other out more. Inquire. I know not everybody wants to talk about their situation, but I do feel like you asking, like, don't just, because some people, they don't know how to speak up for themselves. They just go through it in silence, sit there and suffer in silence. Some people don't know if they can, or if they have the right people around to speak up or speak out about what they are going through and things like that. But I would say, if you see something, if you see signs, ask questions. And even if they don't want to talk about it, just try to be there in any way that they allow you to be. Don't force it out of them, and don't force your comfort upon them if they don't want it. Just be there in the ways that they allow you to be and that you are wanted to be, I had a lot more thoughts on it. This script is really long. I might address other points in later episodes, but this is the first episode of the podcast. So, yes. Thank you guys so much for watching. The videos will obviously get better, down the line with due time, bigger budgets, bigger everything. Yes, I am excited to see where this podcast will go to and how far it will get and how big it will get. But yeah, everyone have a good morning, have a good evening, have a good afternoon, have a good night. If you're up way, way late in the night, have a good midnight and good night. Bye guys.